Hi, Kenneth Sribnick here. We need to talk. This is the 12th and last lesson of Book 1 of our Sweet Pipes Alto book for adults. Next, in Book 2, it'll be my pleasure to be your guide as we explore the upper octave and more musical elements to the alto recorder. My goal is to make you an intermediate player, someone that can read and play every note of the instrument and sight read whatever's put in front of them. The internet is filled with videos of people playing at lightning fast speeds to prove they're somehow an expert player. In the words of Tony Soprano, forget about it. Speed will come to you naturally by your abilities as you meet the minds of great composers while interpreting their works. If the special chemistry of our online relationship has worked this far, it will happen. You can now read music containing as many as 2 flats or 2 sharps. That's quite an achievement. The staff has 5 lines. There are only 3 to go. The upper fingerings are much like the lower ones. The upper octave is then mostly recognition and eye training. Programming those neural networks is easier than most students anticipate. Everybody has some loose ends that need tidying up at this point. Just keep reading and playing in order those melodies from the earlier units as you practice. You've done wonderfully to be here now. That's the end of my little lecture. On with the show. Let's identify your drills. Circle 172, 3, 4, and 5. For melodies to practice, let's play 183 and 184. The first thing to do is play for you the sight reading exercise from the last lesson. A simple tune. No matter what your speed, did you get the song of it that you never heard before? That's what we're after. Playing fluidly is a skill we're working toward. It'll come together as you have more sight reading experience. Now, I'm not assigning a new sight reading exercise like this 168 right now. I'm going to suggest that you go back to Unit 3 in Book 1 to Exercise 56 and begin sight reading one melody at a time all the way through Book 1. Play them slowly, accurately. See if you hear the melodies in the notes. Perhaps 1 lesson's worth or less a day. Even when we start Book 2, keep sight reading this way in Book 1, a little bit each day. You'll be building what musicians call chops. Don't worry about perfection. Worry about being willing to dive into a piece and give it your best. Chops. Our new note in this lesson is C sharp. 3rd space up on the staff, sharped. Why are there 2 fingering diagrams? Well, every recorder maker does it a little different. Some instruments are fatter or thinner than others. Some makers' finger holes are closer or further apart, requiring the tuning of the instrument to pitch by making the holes smaller or larger. When we play a note just a little out of tune, like in the case of where our C sharps get real finicky on lots of different recorders, Our ears and brains get real serious about whether or not the note is right or not. Is it in tune? Our authors knew that some of you would be on brand new, mass-produced, computer-designed altos, or maybe a handmade instrument tuned by an expert maker, or factory-injected, molded, plastic, mass-produced, inexpensive instruments like most of us play. In that world, with some room for variation, one instrument's version of C sharp can be different than another's, and listeners can hear it. So, our authors have given you two common fingerings for C sharp. I'm not with you to hear your C sharp. Your ear may not have enough experience yet to decide which fingering to use. I have 6 altos right here next to me. I'm always ready to switch fingering for my comfort or that of the audience. The key of the music you're playing that a C sharp might be in will also influence which fingering sounds correct. So that's why you have 2 fingerings here. I'll play both fingerings for you. Don't worry about it. Just choose one for now that you feel sounds better. Or just pick one by flipping a coin if you can't hear any problem on your instrument. You cannot make a mistake at this point. Your ear will become more sensitive as you play more music, and at that point you may hear a need for changing your fingering. New topic. Our 4 drills, 172 through 5. Play these exercises each in order to perfection, top to bottom, multiple times. It takes some concentration and definitely slowness. Notice that the other notes these drills are linking you to are the ones with tricky fingerings. A challenge perhaps, but once you have them forever. Think of it as a game or a puzzle. In particular, exercise 175. Very tricky. And remember that starting a line over is a plus, not a minus. Turning the page to exercise 183. George Newmark was a 17th century German poet and composer. The melody of this hymn, Wer nun den lieben Gott, or Whoever Now Loves God, was adapted by Bach into his cantata BWV 197. It gives you a melody in D minor. D minor is a close relative to the key of F, with the same B flat. Yet the melody goes back and forth in this piece between C natural and C sharp. I'll be getting into that D minor key in the future in another lesson's music theory. But you have now learned enough recorder to be getting much more complex in the textures of the melodies you play. You're certainly ready for a minor key. I should also point out the abruptness where you end a phrase in measure 4. There's a rest after it. It grabs the listener's attention. You don't want to miss that. The silence of that rest is important. Let me play it for you. With much the same use of C sharps and C naturals in D minor, our next exercise, 184, is the Israeli folk song Hava Nagila, which translates to "Let us rejoice." The melody started as a nugun, or a song without words, where people might sing lie, 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 or na, 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 and it originated in the Ukraine. In the early 1900s, words were added. Since then, the song has been danced to as a high point in Jewish weddings and B'nai Mitzvah, which are coming-of-age celebrations. I'll play it for you. Write in the fermata I played over the last high A in the third measure from the end. It's a suspenseful and traditional high point to this song. And speaking of suspenseful, take a look at the new feature written into our melody, the tie. In the very first measure, the second A is tied. See the curved mark? Tied to the first beat of the next measure. So you play one note lasting 3 beats long. The first beat in any measure is often the strongest beat, yet this tie tells us to suspend the older note into and cover up that first beat. In essence, that first beat becomes even stronger because it's in our minds. Sometimes dancers stomp their foot on that kind of beat. So a tie is a curved line connecting two notes. In this case, notes tied together and played as one note. With this melody, you begin an interesting journey into the myriad of ethnic melodies with complex use of rhythms and accidentals. We're entering a huge repertoire of music that's integral to the recorder's historic roots. Before we move to our last piece, there's something I'd like to mention. One of the most valuable assets a musician can have is good feedback. A recording you listen to of yourself can provide good feedback, but a friend or two that will listen to your playing and give you their honest take on it is even better if it's someone that's not trying to either build you up or tear you down. In my personal music and in developing these online lessons for you, I repeatedly asked for and received wonderfully unbiased opinions from my wife and my best friend since the 6th grade, Gail, and joining us from France, Bill. I've asked them to join us for a moment as you complete Book 1. They've been on your instruction team. As we turn to the last piece to play in the final unit of this book, we three just want to say
Congratulations!
There we go. Now, let's finish up Book 1 by playing Remember, O Thou Man, Exercise 195, at the bottom of page 45, attributed to Thomas Ravenscroft. Ravenscroft was an English composer and collector of tunes we know very little about, except that he was a collector of what's called anonymous music in the early 1600s in London, meaning he collected street cries and vendor songs and rounds that people were singing and tunes like that. Some of his work has received enormous fame, but not Ravenscroft himself. An example of this is the 1609 English nursery rhyme, Three Blind Mice. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tail with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? Later, in 1621, Ravenscroft went on to publish his whole book of Psalms, in which our duet, Remember, O Thou Man, appears. Practice and learn the music. Then, when you know it, let's finish our Alto Book 1 by playing this duet twice through together. The first time, you take the lower voice, labeled Unit 10, through to the end, and then immediately play the upper melody line marked Unit 12. Why don't we take a little liberty with the composition and change the final upper note from a D to an F sharp? That'll have us ending the book 1 on a happy major chord. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. I'd love a thumbs up and definitely welcome new student subscribers, but even more, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Lesson 13, the first unit in Book 2. Wow. See you then. Can we do it one more time?
Sure.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Now I have nothing on yours.
Oh no, it's
Try again.
the one in the corner.
Let's try again.
Okay, I'm setting up. You ready?
No.
Yeah, you got the one in the corner. Yeah, Gail, it went away.
It's not reactions. It's send effect.
Send effect. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Congratulations. It's not going up for me.
You're on the lower line instead of the upper line.
The upper line says send with effect.
That's the one. That's the one. That's the one.
All right. Okay.
Hearts.
Three's a charm, right?
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Gail's still sending hearts.
Well,
Why
let's see
not?
who wants to send.
Oh, well, then I spoke while it was rising. Can we do it one more time? Try to
Attends,
look,
hein.
try to look sincere, guys. 1,
Hmm.
2, 3. Congratulations.
Congratulations!
There we go. Thank you all. End recording.